Hey guys, Joonas here, the founder of Edge Alerter. So today I want to go through trading golf with respect to churning bonus bets into cash. As most long-term members will know, bonus bet tips are often in golf, and there are a number of reasons why that's the case. But ultimately, it's an extremely useful sport to use bonus bets on, and I'm going to go through that in more detail here because I get so many inquiries about it. So firstly, my background in golf. So in an earlier life, I actually pursued a pro golf career. Probably could have turned pro, but I made the decision to go down a more traditional path. Then after being a pro trader for a bunch of years, I worked at 365, and there, apart from being kind of a generalist in in-play, I was specifically focused on in-play golf as well at 365, and I was essentially the head of in-play golf for the Asian time zone there. And from that experience, I got quite a lot of info and knowledge and insights into how the bookies operate from a pricing perspective, and also how the punters' flows are with respect to golf. And there's a lot of interesting stuff in there, which I'll go through in a sec. The third thing there, I've been betting on golf myself. It's one of the few sports where I feel that there's genuine edge for a punter, apart from taking advantage of promotions, of course. And fourthly there, in terms of performance, historically, if you just followed all the golf tips with cash, you'd be up 3.4% profit on turnover. You'd be converting at a great 94% here. So these are the historical stats. These assume that there's no laying. If you're laying them in the run, when we send laying opportunities, you'd actually be outperforming this. But this assumes no laying. So why golf bonus bets tips? Or why use golf for bonus bet conversions? So really, there are four key reasons. One is it's quite easy to find value in the $10 to $20 range. We'll go through that in a sec. There's really high price volatility, which is really favorable. And again, we'll go through that in a moment in more detail. Thirdly, you've got the opportunity to back multiple players. You've got 140, 150 players at the start of a tournament. Half of those roughly make the cut. And from a capital efficiency perspective, it's really ideal to be able to lay multiple runners during a tournament. And again, I'll go through that in a moment. And then the fourth reason why golf's really useful is the front ends of the markets tend to be mispriced, and more specifically, they just tend to be too short. And the reason for that is the bookies know that the punters will just back the favourites far more significantly than any other runners, even when accounting for prices. So number one, so why golf for bonus bet tips? So here are three examples of the edge in a bonus bet using a bonus bet on a runner or a player at three different prices: $4, $10, and $20. And it breaks down the maths of the expected conversion of bonus bets into cash. So the first example, we're using a $10 bonus bet on a $4 chance. And we're going to assume that the $4 is fair, which is not often the case. But for this example, let's assume that each bet is on fair odds. So if you're betting on $4, the expected bonus bet conversion into cash is negative 25%. So expect it to turn that $10 bonus bet into $7.50 cash. So, and you'll notice there perhaps that the 25% is just a reciprocal of $4. So 1 over 4 is 25%. That's your loss. Here, $10, again, 1 over 10 is negative 10%. 1 over 20 is negative 5%. So what does this all mean? Really, all it means is you don't want to be backing short prices with bonus bets. Most do, because they don't want to lose the bonus bet. They'll back a $2, $3 chance. Extremely ineffective, but that's what most bettors do. And in fact, that's the reason why bookies offer so many bonus bet tips, because they know how useless most bettors are with converting bonus bets into cash. So golf gives us an opportunity to back a lot of runners in this $10 to $20 range, which is excellent. Second reason, volatility in pricing. So this is taken from the Genesis Golf, which is on this week. The fourth round's on tonight, actually. And I've just picked essentially four random players from the top 10 in the market at the moment. And the message that I'm trying to get across here is look at how volatile that pricing is. So Finau, for example, around $35, $40 per round. firms significantly, pops out to huge prices, comes back in, pops out, comes in, pops out. Same here with Spieth, opened up at about 26, blew out to 50s, had a little pop at 300. I don't know how much traded there at 300, but has traded there into shorts out there. So you can see all these players are just, the prices are flying around all over the place. So what this means for bonus bet conversion is, if you're using bonus bets on these prices of here 35, here around, we're about 35 as well, and then it popped out, you get an opportunity to lay them at shorter prices, which is excellent for bonus bet conversion. When you're laying them, that's when you're locking in a good conversion as well. Third reason, so the opportunity to back multiples. So you've got about 140 players in a golf tournament, usually pre-round. About half of those make the cut or slightly less. And then, so if you're able to back multiple runners, you're just reducing variance. You're not relying on one $10 to $20 pop to come through, which might not happen for 10 to 20 to even 30 or 40 chances. But if you're backing multiple runners, you're just going to reduce variance, which is nice, right? So helps with cash flow. And so here's an example of a portfolio position calculator that members get access to. And in this instance, we've used we've gotten tips on multiple runners, and we've managed to get a really nice green book where we actually cannot lose regardless of the outcome. And golf gives us this opportunity week after week. So multiple runners, it reduces variance, combined with laying off when the prices come in a lot, gives us a fantastic opportunity to convert bonus bets into cash and reduce variance. And the final thing, and this is probably the most controversial, and I say controversial because it is literally me making the statement that I think there's a mispricing in the market just systemically. So what I'm saying here is the front ends of the markets tend to be a bit too short. So here's an example of Dustin Johnson. He was about $7 going into this tournament, the Genesis pre-tournament, and this is just one data point, but this is a very common occurrence. So he's opened up about $7 pre-tournament and pops out a couple of times out into bigger prices. He's firmed in since, but my point here is oftentimes the front ends of the markets just tend to be massively unders fair value. And there are two reasons for that. One, the punters just keep backing favorites in golf far more than in other sports. And the second thing is the bookies know that that's the anticipated flow, so they go even a few rolls shorter than they would otherwise be, because they're just anticipating that flow. So this is the fourth reason why golf's really useful for bonus bet conversion. So then you might think, well, hang on a minute, okay, that's all great, that all sounds pretty interesting, but how do I make the most of this opportunity? Well, firstly, follow the golf bonus bet tips. They've historically been extremely successful. The way that they get tipped is largely through my experience in golf, but also I've got a golf simulation model myself, which helps with pricing as well. So if you follow the golf bonus bet tips, that's number one. The second thing there is around Betfair. So be ready to lay these big firmers. And you don't need truckloads of money in there, but it's useful to have, if you're betting if your stake size is, say, $20 a bet on the racing, maybe it's useful to have sort of $300-400 in a Betfair account for the purpose of converting bonus bets into cash. The third thing is utilizing CyberGhost VPN. Now, VPN is, it's not going to help you with betting with bookies, but it will help you get around the in-play betting laws in Australia. So you'll be able to pipe over to New Zealand really easily and bet in the run. So in the run in Australia, the laws are that you need to call up to have a bet, but using this CyberGhost VPN, you can, a couple of clicks and you're in New Zealand, and you can, in the run, lay on Betfair. So this is extremely useful because, again, golf gives you these in-play opportunities where you can get out at a far shorter price than what you backed. So that's all for this webinar. If you want to see more of these educational videos, so feel free to subscribe to the Edgeloader YouTube channel. If you've got any questions, I'm best accessible on Telegram. That's my handle there, Joonas57. Thanks, guys. Cheers.